Please be seated. We now have multiple anthem with Otaki College.
Tēnā tātou, let's start off with our karakia. Kei noi tātou, pauhi hiri, paura rama, paua te whakaro, paua te tangata, paua te aoha, o te pau e hiri nei i a tātou. Mauri ora ki a tātou, haumi e, hui e, kia ora. Firstly, I want to thank you so much for the way that you stood and the way that you came into the hall today. Absolutely outstanding, and thank you for looking after one another with your masks. I want to start by, again, just acknowledging that we've got quite a bit of sadness in our town today with the passing of Paxton Kavanagh in a road accident in the early hours of Saturday morning. His family and extended family will be really upset. Some of you may have brothers and sisters that also knew Paxton. It's never ever a good thing when we lose young people. So our heart goes out to their whānau and to friends and people that knew Paxton. So yeah, just in our thoughts. While we're thinking about those sorts of things, I do want to remind you that this school is known as a restorative school. Now, restorative schools are schools where we really focus on putting things right. We really focus on working with one another, not doing things to one another. And that means that we have to look after people, we have to manaaki people, we have to think about how we act and behave. But things don't always go well. Sometimes we get angry. Sometimes we have disagreements. The worst thing that we can do to respond when we're angry or having disagreements is to respond physically or with bad language. All that does is make matters worse. So in this school, when things aren't going well for you, we want to just remind you that you can trust teacher aides, you can trust teachers, you can trust other staff members that you can go to. You can share your worries or your concerns or your anger, and we will make sure that we go out of our way to put things right. Now, while we're doing that, it is unhelpful if others interfere. If other people start sticking their 2 cents in, and it ends up just making life so much harder. So when something goes wrong and one of your mates is actually trying to get it sorted out with a staff member, please stay out of it. Please trust us to make things right. So that's my big plea today. And just again to remind you that the best way to act and behave when you are really getting angry is to walk away, find someone, cool off, and then address it face to face, respectfully. That's number 1. Number 2 today is uniform. Now, over the coming weeks, we really want to focus on getting our uniform back together so that we're really looking smart as a college. But I want to remind you that our uniforms are not boys and girls uniforms. Our uniforms are actually genderless. They're just a series of uniform combinations that anyone can wear as long as they're wearing the combination that you're meant to be wearing. So if you're wearing black trousers or a skirt, you wear a white blouse with a tie. If you're wearing shorts, you wear a blue polo. Those are the sorts of combinations I'm talking about. If you're unaware of those combinations, just ask your kaiarahi teacher and they will explain them to you. But please do wear the combinations correctly. And, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a young man and you want to wear a skirt, then go ahead and wear the skirt, as long as you wear the white shirt and the tie. I wear a skirt, I call it a kilt. I'm quite comfortable with those sorts of combinations. So, as I say, please just understand that and wear your uniform with pride, because that shows pride in our college and pride in our community. Next thing, phones. Phones are to be used before school, in break times and after school. You might think that's a bit mean, but we're trying to make sure that you develop good habits, because that's what's expected in the workplace. That your phone is there for your personal use in your personal time, not in work time or school time. So please don't be using it, don't leave your headphones in and what have you, because teachers will ask you to either put it away or that they will take it and give it back at the end of the period, or if you're a regular offender you might find that it goes to the office and your parents have to collect that phone. So just be mindful of that. The last thing I want to talk about is lates. Being late for things is not a good habit to get into. Being late for school actually disrupts your learning. Being late for classes disrupts your learning. You miss stuff. But if you get into the habit of being late and you start doing that when you leave school and going to work, guess what? You're going to have trouble with your employers. Employers do not like people being late. They want you on time and they want you there ready to go right at the start of the day. So I'd really urge you to get organised, get your gear ready the night before, do things that will enable you to get up in the morning, get into correct uniform, get off to school and be here by 9 o'clock when the bell's ringing. So that's just some reminders for you, and just to let you know that it's not about us trying to be mean and nasty, it's about creating good habits, good lifelong habits that will put you in good stead for when you move on from college. So that's all from me. You're looking fantastic out there, you guys. I'm thinking that years 7 to 9 uniform just looking really, really good. Don't forget, if you don't have a uniform item and you're struggling a bit to get it, please let your kaiarahi or your dean know and we will help out. Kia ora koutou.
Thank you, Mātua Andy. Now we have Mātua Jared for a peepee for our presentation.
Kia ora kōrua. Really beautiful to be able to stand before you at this time of Wamā. Kia ora everyone. The weather is getting a bit cooler out there, but this week's message kind of links to what Mātua Andy has been talking about. I've shared with the Kaiarahi this week a 2017 presentation by Admiral McRaven, and in his speech he speaks about doing the small things well, and that links really beautifully with what Mātua Andy has spoken to you about your uniform. With the weather getting cooler, we'd love to see you all wearing the appropriate uniform, and I'd like to reinforce this with you in your Kaiarahi this week and your whānau whānui in terms of doing the small things well. So in this week's presentation, you're going to be, not now, but in your kaiarahi time, you're going to be seeing a clip by Admiral McRaven. And in his speech, he reminds the then graduates about doing the small things well. And he says, in part, it was a simple task, mundane at best. But every morning we were required to make our bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, but particularly in the light of the fact that we were aspiring to be real warriors, to be hard-hearted seals. But the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over and over. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, through to completion. It will give you a sense of that pride. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, and this is the message that really hit home to me when I watched this clip, if you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things right. So I plead with you, please wear your uniform with pride. You look beautiful when you wear it with pride. And also, turn up to school on time, and reinforcing that message that Mātua Andy has spoken about doing the little things well. On the YouTube, on the clip that you're going to, or slideshow that you're going to be viewing this week, there's a beautiful quote there, in fact, by Emily Dickinson, who says, "If you can take care of the small things, the big things take care of themselves. You can gain more control over your life by paying closer attention to little things." Some questions that I'd love you to ponder about this week, and this all fits in, of course, with our beautiful value of rangatira tutu, or OC pride. Some questions I'd love you to think about. Here they are here. What do you love about yourself? When have you learned from your mistakes? What helps you to focus and work towards your goals? And finally, how can you be kind to yourself? What can you actually do? And today's PP4L message, I'd like to end with this awesome quote, in fact, by Dr. Zeus, who says, "Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive that is youer than you. Go hard e o ngā, do the small things well." Kia ora tātou.
Thank you, Marto Jared. Now we have the Pink Shirt Day winner and address.
Thank you to all students and staff who supported Pink Shirt Day on Friday. We are so sorry many of us missed it due to the weather. We have some prizes to give out for the best dressed students. They are for Logan Boyer, the $40 hunting and fishing voucher, Carol Liu, $40 Amazon voucher, and 2 Subway vouchers, both for Zach Heenan and Matthew Hall. You can collect these after the assembly.
We're going to judge the 7-8 colouring competition during our Hauora sub-council meetings today, and then we will announce the winners tomorrow. Thank you to all of the students for your amazing entries. Now we have the Kia Kahatua. From Cody we have Kai's Carson.
Oh, wait, I thought I had it.
From Rimu we have Carol Liu. Mata we have Lily Ann Wood. And Totara we have Luca Brimble. You can collect your vouchers after assembly.
We also have the staff Ki Card Draw. They are for Matua Sam for awesome support of the Manakura boys, for Mr. Perfect for taking time to answer questions, and for Mr. Van for supporting students well.
And the random acts of kindness this week goes to Lana for Pink Shirt Day. Lana baked for the Pink Shirt Day and offered to come in and help on the Friday even with the bad weather.
Do any teachers have any notices they would like to share? No? Awesome. Well then we will pass it back to Matua Andy for the closing karakia.
Tēnā tātou, kia tātou katoa, te atu whāra tō tātou ariki o ihu karaiti, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu, ake, ake.
School, please stand.